And so for him to sit here and say that cardio does nothing, that you shouldn't do it, when I know for certain it can help you survive a heart attack, that it helped my own father survive, how friggin' dare you? How dare you? Coach Greg, and this just came out. Huge warning, pay attention. Cardio is killing you. That's right. Doing cardio is shortening your life by probably around 20 years. And how do I know this? Because this cookbook said so. And no, I'm not making this up. He actually has a video where he's trying to prove that he's correct. And so listen to this cookbook.
Cardio, huge myth, no need to jog. Here's an interesting fact. The average lifespan of a marathon runner is about 57 years.
And so cardio is a huge myth. There's no need to jog. And why? Well, because he made up a study saying that the average life expectancy of a marathon runner is 57 years of age. And so does anyone in this universe believe that this is true? Notice he doesn't share the source of his information. He just pulls it out of his ass and shovels the BS right to you. And the problem is there's people that actually believe this guy. And so how can a guy like this get away with it? It would be equivalent to me saying, oh, if you eat fruits and vegetables, you are going to die 20 years younger. And so do not eat fruits and vegetables. Can I say that? Is that allowed? Are you allowed to say these things? To me, this is dangerous. Imagine Coach Greg made a video. Hey, everybody, if you use protection when having sexy time, it's going to shorten your life by 20 years. Average life expectancy, 57. And so people will watch my video and no longer wear protection, and they contract STDs and perhaps have babies they didn't want. Imagine the ramifications. Exactly what's happening here. Trying to convince people to stop doing cardio. And how does he do it? Fear-mongering. Well, if you do cardio, you're going to die an early death. Well, I'm not going to run. I'm not doing cardio. That's horrible. I never knew that. When the reality is cardio extends your life. That's right. If you do 150 minutes of moderately intense cardio a week, just walking and so on, it increases your life expectancy by nearly 4 years. And so imagine just doing 150 minutes of moderately intense exercise a week. Or if you don't have the time, 75 minutes of harder cardio. That could extend your life by 4 years. And so what he's doing is he says it's going to shorten your life when studies show that it extends your life, which is the exact opposite of what he's spewing.
Exercise is a stress on your body. You accumulate a lot of that stress over enough period of time, it's going to accelerate the aging process.
And so exercise is a stress. Yeah, of course it is. Ever heard the saying, what doesn't kill us makes us stronger? And so what do we do with this stress? Well, our body adapts. That's how we were made. Ever heard of progressive overload? You know, going harder than last time? Well, when you will put on a certain stimulus on the body adapts slowly over time. And whether it's with cardio or lifting weights, that allows your body to get stronger than last time. And so when you go out for a walk, swim, hike, jog, bike ride, roller skate, dance, your body receives this stress and it adapts. It gets stronger, better, faster, more efficient. And without that stress, the body quite literally deteriorates. Ever heard of osteoporosis? You don't do weight-bearing exercise, your bones, the density, it goes down, decreases. And so that stress, that tension, that force on the bones, cause the bones to get stronger. And consider this. Have you ever broken a bone, been in a cast, or been bedridden for a while? Have you seen how quickly your muscles deteriorate? Or how slow you become? You get old, you break a hip, you're in bed, couple months go by, you get out of bed, and it's hard for you to walk. You don't have the cardiovascular endurance to do so. Use it or lose it. An important statement. If you stop moving your body doesn't want to do it anymore. It essentially falls apart. And so if you suddenly stop doing cardio, especially for an extended period of time, it gets worse. It gets harder to do it. But to the opposite extent, if you continue to do cardio, especially with progressive overload, you go harder than last time, you become a better butter burner, you get better at it, you burn more calories in the same period of time, it gets easier, and it does this through adaptation.
It's going to accelerate wear and tear, not only in your muscles, your joints, ligaments, connective tissue.
And so he's saying all it does is wear out your joints, connective tissue, your heart. This could not be further from the truth. The body was made, put on this earth to move. If you think you're saving your joints by just laying down doing nothing, you're doing the opposite. Consider your flexibility, range of motion. If you don't move around, don't stretch, your arm suddenly seize up. Try breaking your elbow, cast comes off, and suddenly you can't extend your arm anymore. Why? Because you haven't moved it enough. You've lost that range of motion.
It's also going to accelerate wear and tear on your heart.
It's going to accelerate wear and tear on your heart. Did this guy not finish high school? I mean, frankly, I learned this as far back as physical education in grade 10. When you do cardiovascular exercise, what happens is your heart increases the stroke volume. With each beat, kaboop, 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 more blood is pushed throughout the body. And what is the end result? A reduced resting heart rate. I've been doing my bike riding for over 4 years now. My resting heart rate was in the mid 60s and it's now in the 40s. And so because I do cardio, my heart is more efficient. It beats fewer times. It's a stronger, better, more efficient muscle. Not only that, when you do cardio, there is peripheral circulation. That's right, new blood vessels are formed, which in fact will increase your likelihood of surviving a heart attack. Know someone I know who had a heart attack? My father, 1 year ago, had a heart attack. But because he was so active, moved his body his whole life, he survived the heart attack. When a blood vessel is blocked, the peripheral circulation quite literally can go around the blockage and carry enough oxygen around the blockage to survive that heart attack. Had he not been physically active, doing cardio, walking and so on, he would not have survived that heart attack. He would not be here on this earth. He's 74 years of age, born the same day as Arnold Schwarzenegger himself. And what about Arnold? I see Arnold riding his bike all the time. Arnold doesn't just lift weights. He's literally riding bikes like Coach Greg. And so for him to sit here and say that cardio does nothing, that you shouldn't do it, when I know for certain it can help you survive a heart attack, that it helped my own father survive, how friggin' dare you? How dare you? Ask yourself, do you really believe what you're saying? How can you make a video and try to convince people not to do cardio? Do you know how much of a cookbook you are? It's people like you that make me sick. And I'm not against people getting canceled from Instagram, TikTok, and so on. But if there was someone that deserved it, it's someone who's making videos to shorten the lifespan of other people.
So I'm telling you to stop.
I'm telling you to stop. How can he say this? How dare this guy? I'm telling you to stop. Does anyone believe this guy? Does this guy even believe the nonsense he's spewing? Does he actually believe this? I tried to research this guy. Does he have any education? Did he learn anything? Couldn't find anything on him. I have to assume he has no education. If he did, how can he believe this nonsense?
If you have an effective weightlifting resistance training routine, there is going to be no additional benefit to cardio.
Oh, aside from perhaps living a longer life, surviving a heart attack, but why would we want that? What else? Oh, burning more calories, helping us be in a calorie deficit, to lose weight, to decrease our BMI, less likelihood of diabetes, decreased cancer risk. If there was one thing you could do on this planet to extend your life above anything else, the most important thing you could do for your health, it's doing cardio. The number one thing. But he says, don't do it, shouldn't do it, shortens your life. Marathon runners, they die by 57. What? And to lie and quote a study that doesn't exist? Are you kidding me?
Say the first day you go on a jog, you kind of suck. That first mile you do, it's kind of tough, right? But you notice over time that mile gets easier. The reason is not because you've gotten in shape.
And so when you start doing cardio and you get better at it over time, the reason isn't because you're getting in shape. And so what's his next video going to be? Hey students, you know how when you first go into a class you don't understand anything and you start studying and you learn it all? Well, it's not because you learn anything. It's exactly why you're getting in better shape. That's why you're running faster. What are you talking about?
The reason is because of something called a neurological adaptation.
Oh, it's just a neurological adaptation. Nothing in the body changes. It's just your brain chemistry's changed. Your body just learns to recruit more fibers a certain way. You're not actually getting in better shape. You don't have an increased stroke volume. Your heart doesn't pump out more blood. You don't have the ability to use oxygen more effectively in the muscle. No, None of that's true. It's a neurological adaptation. Does this guy have any degree, let alone a degree in kinesiology? Not a master's like Coach Greg. Any educational training whatsoever related to the heart.
So every time you do a locomotive activity like jogging, swimming, your body will adapt to do this activity with the least amount of energy involved. That's why it becomes easier over time.
That's because it comes easier over time. That's one reason. Your body learns how to swim properly. It learns how to do an S formation in the water to catch the most amount of water as you're doing every arm stroke. That doesn't mean that your muscles are not better capable of using oxygen, that your VO2 max improves. He literally does not believe that there's any adaptation in the body aside from neurological. And so think of this analogy. When you don't do cardio, it's like having a smart car. Little two-seater, not a lot of power, not a lot of energy. And so anytime you go out and try to drive it, that you have to do any work whatsoever, pulling a boat and so on, the car can't handle it, breaks down. In comparison, if you do cardio all the time, you're driving a friggin' Lambo. Lots of power. You don't need to use all that power because you're in such good shape. Anytime you do a small task, going for a jog, it's easy. Body's like, this is nothing. That's not hard. But if you don't do cardio, you go for a jog, you're putting your body at its limits. It's maxed out. It's revving the red line. And so one of the reasons to, in fact, do cardio is it makes life easy. When I go for a walk, jog, bike ride, or even sitting here making a video, my cardiovascular system is so strong that this is nothing. It's barely revving up to 2,000. But if you're not in shape, you never do cardio, and you go for a walk, you're redlining. Even a walk, easy. That's hard for you. And as we age, this becomes even worse. That smart car, brand new, not so bad. But 20 years from now, it's not going to be as healthy. And your body, same thing. Your body is a temple. You might be taking advantage of it right now. You're 15, 25, maybe even 40. But what about when you're 70? If you do cardio when you're younger, by the time you get to 70, no problem. You're still fit. But if you don't do cardio and you make it to the age of 70, that's if you get there, then simply going for a walk for you, that might be difficult. And the more difficult it is, the less likely you are to do it. Think of it. Are you really going to want to go for a walk if you're panting and out of breath at the thought of it? In comparison, you're doing cardio your whole life. Somebody says, hey, let's go for a walk. Let's go do this. Let's do that. No problem. I can recover from that. You're not going to be sore for days after it. And there's still so many benefits to doing regular exercise and cardio. The dopamine it releases, increased mood, increased brain function, less risk of dementia, Alzheimer's. And so what are people saying in the comments section? Jim Bro really got a PhD just to have an excuse to skip cardio. Just because this guy's standing there pretending to do a lecture doesn't mean he has a PhD. And so think of it. People are thinking the guy has a PhD. That he would actually have a higher level of knowledge and spew this kind of nonsense. David Goggins has assaulted the chat. I think everyone should run from this man's advice as fast as they can. Could save your life. Exactly. What a great comment that really is. Dude literally just said your cardiovascular system does not adapt when running. Hilarious. I'm pretty sure marathon runners have more lifespan than bodybuilders. A fair point. This guy, what is he doing? He's trying to convince people to buy something from him, perhaps coaching plans, I don't know, and convincing them that all you should do is lift weights and you should avoid cardio. Cardio's bad. Why? Well, people do a lot of cardio, as shown in marathon running studies. Well, they die at only 57 years of age. Imagine if that were true. If that were actually true, marathon running would have to be banned. It'd be more dangerous than alcohol, recreational drugs, and so on. Average life expectancy, 57. Maybe in marathon runners living in third world countries with no medical care in the early 1900s? I mean, how could this guy have said this? That was the average age of death of somebody who died while running a marathon. There are millions of people who run marathons every single year. And of course, some of them are going to die. Accidents happen and so on. Perhaps they had a heart attack while doing the marathon, while running it. But that doesn't mean the average life expectancy of someone who runs marathons is 57. If anything, if I had to bet, I would say the average age of people running marathons is greater than average, not shorter. Man acts like if you run for 15 minutes a day, you'll die at 35. I work for a group of cardiologists. I showed them this video and they all started laughing. And so one of his arguments was that you shouldn't run, you shouldn't do cardio because it puts strain on the joints. Has this guy ever lifted weights? World champion powerlifter, world record holder in powerlifting. Very hard on the joints. Do you know what's hurting right now? My shoulders and hips, all from benching, squats, and shoulder press, lifting weights. And so if anything, lifting weights causes a lot of strain on your joints, on your tendons, ligaments. Ever heard of a pec tear while benching? And so to pick on people doing cardio and say that it's wrecking your joints and that you're gonna die an early death, well, that is just ridiculous. And so the next time you think of doing a video like this, just don't. Think about it and perhaps talk to someone who has some knowledge on the human body, who's read the studies, and say, hey, this is how I feel, and what do you think? And then they will say, you don't know what the cookbook you're doing. Shut it right now and stop misleading your audience. And so hopefully no one believes this nonsense. Y'all know cardio, the most important thing you can do for your health. Please try to get in 150 minutes of cardio a week. Don't listen to the guy. Ending it here. Looking for harder than last time supplements? Click the link in the description. Use code Greg, 10% off. Also, training books, the cookbook, Circle Diet book, coaching plans by me and my team. Watch the bloops, like the video if you liked it, subscribe, click the bell button, comment for the algorithm. And until next time, I am out.